Hey, g'day, and welcome to another episode of The Raft. Now, in the last one, we actually focused on water and food. So we just set up something nice and basic, just to get us, I guess, a supply of food and water. And the last thing we did was set up the research table, and then we came up to the actual island itself. In this episode, we're going to start focusing on what we can get out of our island, if we can get up here, or another one. And we're going to start searching for metals, stones, sand, and copper, which we can get off the actual islands themselves. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, welcome back. Now the sun is actually setting, which is a little bit of a pain, but the game continues to go, so it's not like I can just wait for the sun to come up before we continue exploring. So with this here, you've got your island. Obviously you've got two components of the island itself. You can jump up onto the island through a couple of means, which one is building a ladder, which we're completely out of wood on. The next one is being able to, if you can, when you circumnavigate the island, sometimes there's little areas where you can get up onto the island a little bit easier. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case on this one. It looks like we do need to have a second layer on our raft. That's fine. We won't access the top half. We do get opportunities to get things such as palms and mangoes, pineapples and watermelons. The next ones we want to do is get underneath the actual the island itself. So jumping into the island, obviously your main problem is your shark. Now you can throw a shark bait into the water, which will take some herring and some pomfret, if you're fortunate enough to catch those, plus a little bit of rope. And if you do catch those, that will be a great opportunity for you to throw some shark bait into the water. And what that does, it allows you to have some buying time, but we're not. We're going to jump in. We'll have our hook at hand. First of all, we have salvage. That's one hit. We have scrap. We have clay. We have stones. So a little bit of stones, which will make us another bucket. That's 2 hits. I've got one more hit in me. But we also have an oxygen problem, so we're going to head up for some oxygen. Just have a look at what the storage is, because if we die underneath the water in the current situation, we lose everything. So let's just throw that on the side, open it up, and we can drop some of these things in here that we're not. And clay and stone, and the rest is good. Let's jump back in. Just make sure we're filled with fresh water. Drink, full. Pick up the herring, eat, full. Tilapia. Okay, let's jump back in. We've also recovered a little bit from that food. So what I'm after, so you'll find the stones, the clay and the sand is usually on the higher layers. The other one that we need, but we just don't need urgently this now because we do not have a smelter, is metal. But we'll show you where the metal is. And the metal is normally on the side of the island itself. So let's get back up here. You can see the shark has taken some decent bites out of me, and that's going to be all our swimming we're going to do at the moment. One more, and that will be the end of us, unfortunately. So we'll just try and refresh our health, get a little bit of fish. We're not cooking the fish because we need wood. We do have a piece of wood there, but we do need to also make a tool. Plastic hook. We need a plank and 2 pieces of plastic. So we've got plastic in here. We need the wood. So we need the wood. Don't have any more, so it's time to move on. Let's break it and let us drift. So what we're desperate for at the moment is some wood. Places we could get wood. Clearly we could get it on top of the island, but unfortunately with this island we weren't able to get up there. We will be able to get up on the next one, I'm pretty confident. But wood is what we want. Let's make our hook. So in this episode we're going to focus on collection nets because my throwing arm is atrocious. No, we're going to focus on collection nets. We're also going to focus on means of getting onto islands so we can make sure we can harvest the resources that are on the islands themselves. The fish is cooked. Let's eat that. Plenty of food, plenty of water. We are good for a little bit. We're going to cast our line in there just so we've got one cooking. Have a few backup fish. The thing about it is if the plank comes through, you can still pick up the plank while you can fish at the same time. Neat little trick. Okay, welcome back. We have enough now to make our collection net. So we needed 16, we've got 16 rope and we're just going to get these. So let's make ourselves a collection net. We're going to make ourselves 2 collection nets. Once again, I'm not going to stick them on the side, but I am going to stick them on the back. So we're just going to place it there, and like it was on cue, you can see effectively what they do. So it just means that if I'm focusing on other things like cooking fish or repairing or dropping a few things like that, it's going to collect those items from the actual boat itself. So let's just make sure we've got another hook so we don't have the same problem that we had last time. We've got plenty of supplies to make that hook. We've also got plenty of supplies to maybe extend the boat a little bit, and we may take that opportunity to do this. So we're going to extend a little bit differently this time. We're going to go out this way. I would expect the shark there, and that's going to allow me to put just a couple more collection nets just on the side when I've got the resources, which I don't have at the moment. Hopefully that just means the shark's going to eat those corners, but we will see how we go. We're going to use this time to also go over to the research bench itself and have a look what items we need. So we can see that there we need actually just a palm frond. So let's drop a palm frond in there, and that will allow us to do mats, chairs, and a scarecrow. Not overly an important one. Now we need some feathers, we need some scrap, so we can drop 1 scrap in there. That will allow us to do torches. It will allow us to do a planter box, a medium planter box, and we'll learn that as well. And you can hear some splashing going on in the background. That is exactly what we're talking about. So a couple of other things that are important is bolts and some hinges to get us some bigger boxes. We do have some potatoes as well. So this brings us on to probably something else that is actually quite nice, which actually allows to actually do a crop lot. So we can do 1. But what we're going to do is we're going to extend our boat out forward once we grab some food. Pick up the cooked mackerel. We've got two crook. Well, we're going to throw this one. Actually, we're not going to throw that on there. We're going to build ourselves another fishing rod. Need some rope. So, once again, plant fibre is what we need. So you can see those little nets catching away. Now this shark must be close to dead. You can see it's getting a bit scratched. And it did eat our corner one, keeping in mind that was a brand new one. So we've got another island there. Unfortunately, we're going to miss that island. At the moment, we're just doing the drifting. We've got two ways of changing the direction of our drift. The easiest way at the beginning is via a paddle. So the paddles themselves are quite simple with the two rope and some plastic. The other way, which we do not have, yes we do at the moment, is our sails. And you can see the sails need a huge amount of scrap is okay. We've got the scrap as the palm leaf is the killer here. So we can start off with a little bit of a paddle, make ourselves another rope, and have that back up. So if we see something that we like, we can head over there and paddle. All right, we killed the shark. Okay, so welcome back. So what we can do now is stab the shark. You actually get yourself a couple of minute window, and this will give you some shark meat until there's no more shark meat. So let's head back up to the surface. The bad side is now we have to swim for our raft. The good thing is we have nothing in the water that's going to attack us yet. So we can use this opportunity. It's a shame we're not closer to our... We can use this opportunity to just collect resources for a couple of minutes. Probably get about a 2-minute window. But you do get a nice amount of supplies. Whoop, we need some food. Let's throw some shark meat on there. In the meantime, we must have something to eat. We can just eat ourselves a raw potato. And that will get us there. So, welcome back. Whoops. We're full. Lucky we're not floating things away. We'll throw the meat in there for a second. We'll throw a stack of planks in there. Let's pick up the palm leaves. Being overfull is a good problem to have. So I haven't seen the shark yet. Let's get our water. The water will come through in a second. Drink. Fill. Place the next one on there. So we've got a good amount of resources. I've just seen the shark again, so Bruce's friend is back, and I'm sure he's a little bit more pissed that his friend is dead. Catch nets are working well, and we've got a good amount of resources. So now we want to focus on a couple of things. We talked about having some crop lots. They're nice to have more food, have an abundance of food. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we're prepared for our next island. So let's build our crop lots first. Let's build that. And this will allow us to... well, how about we get our food first? So we'll pick up our cooked steak. Move him over. And as you can see, that shark if you can get some shark meat or some nice meats like that, it just fills you up. So we'll throw, we've got the shark in our storage, we'll throw that in there. Throw the shark meat, and we've got 2. So that's going to literally take care of all our food issues. So we can make a crock lot, which we have, and this is more for demonstration purposes. Am I desperate for cooking more food? No, I'm not. But with the potatoes, if you're finding that you just don't have enough time to do some fishing, or you're just not killing your shark, your next food source can be potatoes. So to grow your potatoes, exactly the same as real life, just plant your potatoes. It does need water, so you grab yourself with some fresh water, water the crops, and they will then grow. The next thing we want to do is just extend this raft a little bit, just to give us some breathing space. We're finding that it's a little bit tight. But this should give us just a little bit more room that we need to sort of stretch our legs. We find that we're a little bit short of wood still. So hopefully we can collect some wood. We don't want to extend the raft too much, because we're just, sort of wasting the wood as it comes along. So let's just extend it one more space. Hopefully that gives us some planks. Yes, it does. And that will just give us some room to grow itself. Another idea potentially is to build yourself, maybe if you've got more people, you definitely need to have more more water and food. Probably a ratio of 1 water per person. I think that's probably a good ratio. 4. Let's place the salt water in there. And we're good. Okay, so the next thing we want to focus on is, as we're heading towards the island itself, is prepare for our next island trip, both above and below the water. Alright, ahoy there, we are back. Now, we haven't got ourselves an island, but we've got probably something that we haven't explored at the moment, and that is another raft. So we can see it over just on the port side, so we're just going to come over to the rafts, and they're quite interesting on the side. So you can see themselves, you've got a little esky on the top if you're Australian, or a little chili bin if you're from a Kiwi. You can jump on, but as soon as you jump on the raft starts sinking. So you can pick up the crate, you get a heap of stuff, and then the raft sinks. Now, you cannot get anything else off the raft. I can't get that scarecrow, I can't get the tub, I cannot even salvage it for resources. The only thing you can get is the crate that's on top. But you can see in that crate, not only did we get some potatoes, we got some bolts, which the bolts themselves are a great thing that will open up the next lot of items that you need, such as a improved scrap hook, and a clock, which is more for cosmetics, but is a great little item. We're not going to use our 1 bolt to start off with. I can hear him. There you are. Okay, we will be back once we get to an island. Ahoy there! Okay, welcome back. We've been drifting now for probably about 5 or 10 minutes game time, and we've now come up to our next island. So the islands are quite regular. We haven't built anything more on the boat, but we do have plenty of opportunities. So we're going to just do those as we're heading in. Once again, we're still short of palm fronds, so we're going to get some of those. But we want to make our way over to the island itself. So let's do a little bit of paddling. Hopefully by the time we get over there, the sun will come up. This one's going to be an easier island a little bit, because it appears, if I didn't jump into the water like a numpty like that. So we're just going to sort of travel around the island a little bit. You can see we can park ourselves here. We're going to grab this and throw it over the edge. And we've made our way to the island, but I do realise we're a tad hungry. Is that the shark? No, that's just us bumping into it itself. Place the plank. The fish is cooked. It's going to make things easier to see. The sun will come up. And we have, sorry, I did apologise, we did make ourselves a second storage, and we did the second storage solely to put food in one and resources in the other. So let's just place the shark on there. We've got a couple little things that are worth just this barrel, if I can get this. Now, of course, it's not drifting, is it? Or it's not drifting quickly. Alright, we'll see if the shark's going to get us. Clearly it probably will. And then we'll head back in. Alright, seagull. Great thing about the seagull is it gives you us another supply of meat. One thing about having the potatoes, yes, you can harvest them and actually use the food. Or the other one is you can, like there, you can actually use it for the chicken meat itself. We've lost a corner. I don't know if that was the shark or if it was the... Might have been the shark. So let's jump on now. To jump on the island itself, a couple of things is you want to try and get up on the higher levels where you can get some more resources. In this case here, we couldn't at this stage get up, but we may see around. But the other thing you do need is you do need an axe. So you make the axe once again through your tools. It requires a plank, a scrap and some rope. Once you've got your axe, as it sounds like, you chop down your trees. Depending on the tree, you'll get a couple of resources. This tree here will get us our palm leaves, our planks, our palm seeds. Do we have an opportunity to build some stairs, and will they give us an advantage to get up? In this case, I do not think so. So I don't think it's actually worth building the stairs. You can't build the stairs on land, and even with the new ladder, you cannot build the ladders on land to get up. The islands themselves have a couple of things. I haven't seen it being used like this, but this may be, no, we can't either, but that may be something that's useful a little bit later on. The islands themselves have a couple of resources on there, as we said before. It has melons, coconuts, pineapples and mangoes. The mangoes and the coconuts come from the trees. With the mangoes and the coconuts, they give you both water and food content. So they're a good little emergency resource to have in your storage. So you can actually use itself. The seeds are for planting your own coconut trees, which you will probably a little bit later on in game. So you can see we've got actually a couple of stacks of wood. Okay, we have arrived to the island, and I'm going to finish it up there. So we're able to get sort of a coconut tree, not able to get on top of the island. But in the next episode, we are going to create ourselves a shark bait, throw it over into the water, and use the opportunity to try and get as much underwater resources as we like. So hopefully you enjoyed it. That was a little bit of a glitch, having that shark swim straight through that island. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the likes. Hit the subscribe if you'd like to see more of Raft or any of the other videos that I'm doing. Hope you enjoy it, and look forward to seeing you into the next video.